You have felt it, the sting of every cruel word, the weight of every sneer, the crushing blow of mockery that echoed through your heart, shaking you to your core. They laughed, didn't they? They mocked your pain, your struggles, your very existence. They looked at you and saw weakness, something to be ridiculed, something to be belittled. And you, perhaps you didn't know it at the time, but in those moments you felt yourself shrink. You felt your worth slip away, fading in the face of their scorn. Each word, each gesture, each cold glance, like daggers in your soul, sinking deeper with every passing day. It wasn't just the mockery you faced, it was the shame they planted, the doubts they sowed. And somewhere along the way, you began to believe them. You began to doubt yourself, to wonder if there was truth in their ridicule. You questioned your strength, your ability, your very worth. Was it true? Was there something wrong with you? Were you weak, unworthy of love, success, or happiness? But here's the truth they tried so desperately to hide from you. They only mocked because they didn't understand the power that was growing inside you. They couldn't see it, not because it wasn't there, but because it was wrapped in layers of pain, fear, and confusion. They couldn't see the fire burning within you, a fire that would one day scorch their ignorance, their arrogance, their cruelty. You see, they thought their words could break you, that their laughter would be your end. But they were wrong. They were blind to the strength within you. They didn't know what they were igniting. Every insult, every cruel remark, every moment they made you feel small was a spark that, when fed, would grow into an inferno. And you, who once crumbled beneath their gaze, will soon rise from the ashes of their mockery, stronger than they ever imagined. The mockery they heaped upon you was never the truth. It was a reflection of their ignorance, their own inability to see your greatness. They were afraid of your potential, so they tried to diminish it. But in doing so, they only set the stage for something more powerful than they could ever comprehend. You've been through the darkest moments, the moments that nearly shattered you, that made you question who you were and what you could become. You felt the weight of their words, but now, I ask you, do you believe in yourself yet? Can you feel the fire burning inside you? Because that fire, it's been there all along. It has been waiting for you to see it, and now it's time to let it rise. It's time to embrace the truth that no mockery, no pain, no doubt can ever take away your power. You are not weak. You are not a victim. You are a force, and the world will feel every inch of the strength you've been hiding. So tell me, do you believe in yourself yet? You can still hear their voices, can't you? The voices that followed you into the quietest corners of your mind, lingering like a dark cloud over your every thought. The laughter that rang in your ears, mocking your every attempt, your every dream. It's a hollow sound, the kind that seems to seep deep into your bones, freezing you from the inside out. It's as if the world turned its back on you, leaving you in a place where hope was nothing more than a distant memory. In the cold, empty space that their mockery carved into your soul, all you could hear was the weight of their words, drowning out every other sound, every other thought. Their ridicule echoed, amplifying the darkness, and you were left to wonder, was this all I was destined for? Were these whispers and taunts the only truth about me? You felt the isolation, haven't you? The kind that settles deep in your chest, a heavy pressure that makes it hard to breathe, hard to move. It's as if the world is closing in, and you are trapped in this endless night with no escape. The people who mocked you, who laughed at your struggles, didn't just throw words your way. They left scars, invisible wounds that you carry in the silence of your own thoughts. And even when you tried to move forward, to rise above, they were there, whispering, sneering, feeding the doubts that now nest in your heart like parasites. The mockers didn't just diminish your worth, they poisoned your perception of yourself. Every time you tried to stand, They tore you down with a laugh, a comment, a look that made you feel smaller, weaker. It wasn't enough to just mock you. They had to make sure you believed them, make sure you doubted every step, every choice, every possibility. The darkness they left you in is thick. It's a blackness that stretches endlessly, making you feel as if there's no way out. Their voices, the mockers, are like shadows that move through your thoughts, twisting, distorting everything you once believed about yourself. You might have tried to push them away, tried to scream, but they're louder now, insidious in their persistence. They're no longer just voices from the outside. No, they've become a part of you, woven into the very fabric of your identity. They've convinced you that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, too unrealistic, too naive. They've convinced you that the light you once saw at the end of the tunnel is nothing but an illusion, a cruel trick to make you keep walking toward something you'll never reach. But I want you to hear me, and hear me clearly. This darkness, this suffocating weight that presses against your chest, it is not the end. It's not your final destination, number. It's only the beginning. You see, the darkness is where the transformation begins. You cannot rise without first being broken, without first experiencing the depth of despair. You cannot know the strength you possess until you've felt the crushing weight of those who tried to take it from you. You cannot stand tall until you've been brought to your knees. This is not the end of your story. It is only the foundation for the strength that is about to be born within you. This is the moment before the spark of change ignites, before you awaken from this nightmare into the fire that will burn away everything they tried to make you believe. So while you may feel lost now, while you may feel as though you are drowning in this darkness, know this: it is merely the starting point. The journey toward your true power has already begun. The only question now is, will you let the darkness consume you, or will you rise from it, stronger than ever before? The battle within you rages every day, doesn't it? Every moment, a fight against the suffocating weight of self-doubt, a war against the ever-present voice that tells you you're not enough. It's an exhausting battle, where every step forward feels like it's met with an invisible force pushing you back, pulling you deeper into the murky abyss of fear. You wake up every day, your chest tight with the weight of uncertainty, your mind clouded by the same doubts that have haunted you for so long. The ridicule, the mocking words, the judgment, they don't go away. They linger, shadowing every thought, every decision, and in their wake, you find yourself questioning everything about who you are and what you're capable of. The fear is constant, gnawing at your soul, trying to convince you that you are broken, that you will never be whole again. It's the kind of pain that runs deep, so deep that it sometimes feels like it's part of you, like it's woven into your very being. But despite this pain, despite the fear that grips your heart and tries to paralyze you, there is something within you that refuses to give up, something that stirs in the pit of your stomach, pushing you to keep moving, even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. This battle is far from over. In fact, it's only just begun. You may feel exhausted, you may feel defeated, but here's the truth. They've never seen the strength you possess. They've never felt the fire that still burns within you, despite the storm raging in your soul. And though the struggle feels endless, though the weight of the world is pressing down on you, you are still standing, you are still fighting, you are still here, and that alone is a testament to your resilience. This is not the end of your story. No, this is the moment before the transformation, the moment before you realize that the struggle itself is your power. The struggle is proof that you are alive. It is proof that you are not giving up. You might not feel strong now, but each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory in itself. The pain you feel, the exhaustion, the doubts, they are all part of the process. And as painful as it is, they are signs of life. You are moving through them, and with every single step, you are growing stronger. The storm that rages within you, the darkness that clouds your thoughts, it cannot last forever. Just like the dawn breaks through the darkest night, your strength will break through the darkness in your soul. And in this moment, you begin to see it, don't you? The faintest glimmer of light, just beyond the horizon, teasing you with the promise of something better, something greater. It's not much yet, but it's there, the smallest flicker of hope, a reminder that the darkness will not last forever, that you are capable of overcoming this. Like the first rays of sunlight piercing through a stormy sky, that hope begins to grow, slowly but surely. It rises with you, and you begin to realize that the very struggle that has been tearing you apart is the same force that will rebuild you. You are still fighting, you are still standing, and that, my friend, is the first sign that the battle is not lost. The struggle itself is the proof that you are not broken. It is proof that you are not defeated. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you are moving toward it, step by painful step. And the deeper the struggle, the greater the transformation. Every moment you fight, you are building the strength that will carry you through. You are not defined by your pain. You are defined by your ability to keep fighting, even when everything inside you is screaming to give up. And this struggle is the sign that you are alive and that there is more inside you than you could ever imagine. So hold on to that glimmer of hope. It's the light that will lead you to the life you were always meant to live. The moment has come, hasn't it? The moment when you realize that the pain you've carried, the scars they've left on you, are not just wounds. They are weapons. They are not chains. They are the very fuel that will propel you forward. You see it now, don't you? The mockery, the ridicule, the doubts, they weren't meant to break you. No, they were meant to ignite something in you. What once felt like a burden, a weight too heavy to bear, is now a fire. You can feel it, can't you? The warmth, the intensity, rising from the depths of your soul, ready to consume everything that stands in its way. All the laughter that once made you shrink now stirs within you, a fierce determination. They tried to diminish you, but instead they've made you stronger. They mocked you, but in doing so, they've given you the very strength to rise above. It's not easy, this shift, the shift from victimhood to empowerment. For so long, you believed that their mockery defined you, that their cruel words were a reflection of your worth. You saw yourself as broken, shattered by their ridicule. But now you begin to see the truth. You are not broken. You are not a victim. You are a force waiting to be unleashed. Your pain is not your prison. It is your power. Your struggles are not your sentence. They are your story, the story of how you fought, how you survived, and how you will rise. The voices of mockery, the faces that once made you feel small, are now the very fuel that drives you. They thought they could extinguish your fire, but they only made it burn hotter, brighter, and fiercer than ever before. You are no longer defined by their judgment. You are defined by your own strength, by your own will to rise. The narrative has shifted, and with it, your perspective. The road ahead is no longer a path of defeat, but one of triumph. The darkness you once feared is now your playground, and the fire within you is the light that will guide your way. You are no longer the person they mocked. You are the person who overcame their mockery. You are the person who transformed their hatred into your strength, their doubts into your fuel. And with every step you take, you leave behind the version of yourself that once believed their lies. You are becoming someone unrecognizable, not to others, but to yourself. You are becoming the person you always had the potential to be, the person they never believed you could become. The fire inside you is growing, isn't it? Can you feel it? The shift from pain to power, from despair to determination. This fire is not something you need to seek out. It has always been there, buried deep within you, waiting for you to awaken it. All it took was the right spark, the right moment for you to realize that your pain is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. This fire is your fuel, your weapon, your ally. It is the force that will carry you through every challenge, every obstacle, every mockery that comes your way. Now you are no longer a prisoner of your past. You are no longer shackled by the weight of their ridicule. You are rising, and with every step, the fire inside you grows stronger. You have found your power, and there is no turning back. They may have tried to break you, but you are unbreakable. They may have laughed at your struggles, but you are standing tall, stronger than they could ever have imagined. The fire within you is unstoppable. It's time to embrace it, to let it burn, to let it guide you to the greatness you were always meant to achieve. Your mockers cannot reach you now. They cannot touch you because you have risen above them. You have embraced the fire within, and now nothing can stop you. You felt it, haven't you? The weight of your pain, the suffocating burden that once threatened to break you. For so long, you carried it with you, thinking it was a part of you, something that defined you. But in reality, it was never your burden to bear alone. No, this pain was the crucible, the very fire that would transform you into something far greater than you could have ever imagined. The storm that raged inside you, the chaos, the destruction, was never meant to be the end of your story. It was merely the beginning. You are being forged in fire, purified, and rebuilt with every tear, every struggle. And now, as the storm clears, you stand in the calm, a new creation rising from the ashes. You are not who you were before. You are stronger, sharper, and more powerful than you ever believed possible. Like a phoenix emerging from the ashes, you rise. The fire that once threatened to consume you has now given you life. It has ignited something within you, something fierce, something unstoppable. You are no longer weighed down by the mockery, the ridicule, the doubts that once held you captive. Those chains are gone, shattered in the fires of your transformation. The pain you once feared, the struggles you once thought would destroy you, have now become the very source of your power. You are no longer defined by the mockery of others. You are defined by the strength you've gained from facing it, from surviving it, and from rising above it. The darkness that once threatened to swallow you has given way to light, and you stand now as a beacon of that light, radiating with the fire of your own resilience. The pain you carried has been transmuted. It is no longer a burden, but a wellspring of power. Every moment of weakness you once felt is now a testament to your strength. Every scar, every wound is now a badge of honor. The mockery that once sought to crush you now fuels your rise. It no longer holds you down, it drives you forward. The very weight that once threatened to suffocate you now propels you to new heights. You are reclaiming your story, rewriting the narrative that others tried to impose on you. You are no longer the victim of their mockery. You are the victor. The mockery that was meant to break you has instead become the stepping stone that elevated you. You stand taller now, stronger, and more focused. Your path is no longer defined by their laughter. It is defined by your purpose. The mockery they once used to diminish you has now become the fuel that drives your fire. It is a reminder, not of your weakness, but of your incredible strength, of your ability to endure and rise. And with this new strength, you reclaim your power. You take control of your narrative. You no longer need their approval or validation. You are your own force, your own authority. The narrative of your life is yours to write. And with every word, you are rewriting the story of your power, your resilience, your success. The storm has passed. The ashes have settled. And now you emerge, stronger, more focused, and with a sense of purpose that cannot be extinguished. You are no longer who you were. You are the person you were always meant to be, the person who was born from the fires of pain and mockery. You stand in the light now, and nothing can take that from you. You are free, and you are powerful. Your story is only just beginning. You've felt their grip, haven't you? The suffocating hold of those who mocked you, belittled you, and made you feel small. It wasn't just their words. It was the way their judgment wrapped itself around your spirit like chains, binding you, restricting you. These chains weren't made of metal. They were made of doubt, fear, and shame. They were forged in the fire of ridicule, and they were meant to keep you captive, to keep you from realizing your full potential. But those chains aren't real, are they? No matter how tightly they've held you, no matter how much you've believed that they defined you, deep down, you've always known that they weren't invincible. Those who mocked you, those who oppressed you, whether they were people, situations, or your own insecurities, are not the masters of your life. They never were, and they never will be again. These chains, these invisible bonds, have done more than hold you back. They've made you question your own worth. Every time you stumbled, every time you felt like giving up, the chains tightened, reinforcing the belief that you were incapable of breaking free. They made you think that you weren't strong enough to change, that your past would define your future. The mockery, the laughter, the harsh words, they all served to build this prison around you. A prison that only existed in your mind. The problem wasn't that you didn't have the strength to break free. The problem was that you were convinced that you couldn't. They made you believe that this was your fate, that you were destined to live within the limits they set for you. But let me tell you something. Those chains are not your destiny. They are merely the illusion that has kept you trapped in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. But today, something is shifting. You can feel it, can't you? The tension in your mind, the ache in your heart, the restlessness that has been building for so long. It's the realization that you don't have to stay trapped in their lies, in their ridicule, in their judgment. The chains that have bound you for so long are starting to feel lighter, weaker, like they're no longer as strong as they once seemed. You are waking up to the truth. You are the one who holds the key to your own freedom. It's not in the hands of the people who mocked you, who tried to keep you down. It's not in the hands of your past or your pain. It's in your hand. You've always had the power. You've always had the ability to break free, to rise above, to claim your own future. The moment is coming, isn't it? That moment when you realize that the chains are nothing but a figment of your past. You are no longer the person they tried to break. You are no longer the person they laughed at. You are someone different now, someone who understands that your future is not written by the voices that mocked you, but by the power you hold within yourself. And in that moment, everything shifts. The chains snap. The walls fall away. The pain, the mockery, the ridicule, they no longer have any hold over you. The strength that you've been building all this time, the fire you've awakened, it's all coming together. You are ready to step into your own power, ready to claim the future that is waiting for you. This is your moment, the moment when you break free from everything that has held you back, from everything that has tried to diminish you. This is your declaration of independence, not just from the mockers, but from the limitations you once believed were your truth. The keys to your future are in your hands. The path ahead is yours to walk, and no one, no force, no past can stop you. You are free, and now that you've broken free from the chains, nothing can hold you back. This is the beginning of your journey, the beginning of your true power. You are ready to claim your future, and it starts now. You stand at the crossroads now, don't you? The time has come for you to face everything that has held you back, everything that has tried to break you. The mockers, the doubts, the fears, those voices that have lived rent-free in your mind, whispering that you aren't enough. It's time to confront them head-on, to look them in the eye and say, no more. For so long, you've allowed their shadows to loom over you. For so long, you've let their judgment dictate your actions, your worth. But that changes now. You are no longer the person who cowers in fear, afraid to confront the forces that have tried to control you. You are standing tall, and now you are ready to face the very things that once held you captive. It's not an easy thing, is it? Facing your fears, your oppressors, the people who have mocked you and tried to dim your light. It's terrifying to think about the things that have haunted you, the voices that have taunted you, the doubts that have echoed in your head. But here's the truth. You've already won, because the moment you choose to face them, the moment you stop running and start standing your ground, you've taken the first step toward reclaiming your power. The mockers, the fears, they are not invincible. They are not undefeatable. They are nothing but empty echoes, illusions that can no longer hold sway over you. The only power they ever had was the power you gave them. And now, you're taking that power back. Each step you take toward your mockers, each moment you face them without flinching, you feel the weight lifting. You are not the person they made you believe you were. You are not the weak, scared soul who shrinks under their gaze. No, you are strong, you are resilient, and as you walk forward, you feel a surge of power rising within you. The fear, the doubts, the insecurities, they no longer have any hold on you. They are small, they are insignificant, and you, in all your power, are unstoppable. Every step you take is a declaration that you will no longer be controlled by the lies they fed you. Every inch you move forward is proof that their influence over you is slipping away, vanishing like smoke in the wind. With each confrontation, you begin to realize something profound. You are not the one who should fear. It's them. It's the mockers, the doubts, the fears. They are the ones that are afraid. They are afraid of your potential, afraid of the power that you are beginning to realize within yourself. They are afraid because they know that you, once you embrace your power, will rise above them. They know that you will no longer be controlled by their ridicule. They know that you will not let their mockery define your life. And that fear is all you need to understand how small they really are. They are nothing compared to the force that you are becoming. The villain no longer holds power over you. The mockers no longer have a voice in your life. They may have once told you who you were, but they no longer have the authority to define you. It is time for you to take that power back. It is time for you to stand tall, to face them, and to rise above them. The time of being controlled by their words is over. The time of being held down by their mockery is over. You have outgrown them, and now, with the courage you found in yourself, you will rise to heights they could never imagine. Their influence over you ends now. You are the one in control. You are the one who dictates your future. It's time to face the villain and realize they are nothing. You are everything. And with this realization, you step into your power, and nothing can stop you. You've felt the sting of their mockery, haven't you? The pain of their belittling words, their judgment, their arrogance. For so long, they made you feel small, insignificant, unworthy of the greatness that was always inside you. They laughed at your struggles, they sneered at your dreams, and they thought they could break you with their ridicule. But what they failed to realize is that they were not crushing you. They were shaping you. With every cruel word, every dismissive gesture, they unknowingly sharpened the blade of your strength, honed your resilience, and built the very foundation of your power. Now, you stand here, transformed, not just by their mockery, but because of it. They tried to diminish you, but instead they have given you the very fuel to rise above them. And now, as you stand tall, they see it, they feel it. The cuts they once inflicted on you are now their own. There is a poetic justice in the way things have turned out. The very people who once doubted you, who ridiculed you, who made you feel like you were nothing, are now the ones who must confront the consequences of their ignorance and arrogance. The scales have tipped, and now they are the ones left feeling the weight of their own foolishness. They cannot ignore it anymore. They can no longer pretend that their mockery didn't leave a mark, because now your transformation is undeniable. It is visible, it is real, and it speaks louder than any words they ever said. Every step you've taken toward your growth, every ounce of strength you've discovered has turned the tables. They thought they could break you, but what they didn't understand is that they were only making you stronger. And now you stand in your full power, untouchable, while they are left to face the emptiness of their own misguided judgments. You no longer need to fight for validation. Your transformation speaks for itself. You are no longer looking for approval from anyone, least of all from those who mocked you. You know your worth now. You don't need their recognition because you've already recognized the truth about yourself. You are not who they said you were. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are a force, an unshakable presence that nothing can diminish. And as you stand firm in your newfound strength, you see it. You see the hesitation in their eyes, the uncertainty in their voices, the realization that they can no longer control the narrative. Their words, once so sharp, now fall flat. The power they once had over you is gone, replaced by the overwhelming presence of your own strength. The mockers now feel the cuts they once inflicted, but it is too late. The damage they tried to cause has been undone, and now they are the ones left wounded by their own ignorance. They can feel it, can't they? The weight of their arrogance, the sting of their own actions. They see you standing there, strong, unbreakable, and they know, deep down, that they were wrong about you. They underestimated your power, and now they must live with the consequences. They can no longer touch you. They can no longer control you. You have risen above them, and nothing they say or do can ever change that. You stand untouchable now, not because of anything they did, but because of everything you have become. You are no longer the person who cowered under their mockery. You are the person who conquered it, transformed it, and became stronger because of it. Their mockery has no power over you anymore. It is nothing but a distant memory, a reminder of how far you've come. You have triumphed over them, not with revenge, but with growth. Your transformation is the sweetest revenge. And now, as they watch from below, they are forced to confront the truth. They are the ones who have been left behind. You are the one who has emerged victorious. You are the one who stands tall, unshaken, and untouchable. And nothing can take that away from you. You've walked through the fire. You've emerged stronger than ever. But the journey doesn't end here. No, the battle is not just about you anymore. It's about the legacy you're about to create, the story you're about to write. You now hold the pen to your own narrative, and with every word, every action, you are shaping the future you deserve. No longer bound by the mockery of the past or the doubts of others, you stand at the threshold of your own destiny, ready to create a story that is entirely your own. This is the moment when you take control, when you redefine who you are and what you stand for. You are not defined by the pain, the ridicule, or the struggles you've faced. No, you are defined by the strength you've discovered within yourself, the courage to rise, and the determination to keep going. Your story is no longer one of victimhood. It is one of triumph, resilience, and unwavering purpose.